Welcome to episode 26 of the Bernie and Marley podcast. We are going to do something completely different with this podcast. So for now on, we are going to try and have an interview with the listener of this podcast who not only listens to this podcast, but leaves a comment and a review on iTunes. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We like to know who listens to this podcast, and we would like to interview you guys and get to know you. So just make sure you have a smartphone and an app called Hangout. It's on the iTunes store or the Google Play Store. And pretty much on this app, what I do is I record our conversation. I will give you a call and just press record and record what we're talking about. This conversation here is with Andy Figueroa, who is a listener of the podcast. So he pretty much just left a review on iTunes, and the bad part on my end is I don't even know how to reach out to you guys when you guys leave these reviews, because the iTunes doesn't give me an option to do so. So what I need you guys to do is leave a review and message me on Instagram like Andy did. And we are pretty much just having a simple conversation in this episode. If you want to talk about anime and Marvel and DC things, then you're going to want to talk to Marley about that, because she knows way more about stuff like that than I do. So without further ado, here's Andy. All right, Andy. Tell us where you're from and what you do, man.
I am from Winchester, California, and I am currently in the water industry.
Water industry? Okay. And how'd you get into? You're not into podcast. You're listening to podcasts right now, right?
Well, an avid listener to podcasting. Been podcasting since 2011.
Dude, I didn't even know about podcasting in 2011. I didn't even know it was invented. How did you? So back then, how did you even know about podcasting though?
So you know that show, the Adam Carolla guy?
No.
Okay, well, Adam Carolla, he took over for Howard Stern once Howard Stern went to satellite radio.
Okay.
So he pretty much, they consider him the podcasting guy, the number one mainstream guy to go podcasting. So he did a 1 hour podcast Monday through Friday, and it just picked up so big. I started listening to it back in 2011, and then it just kind of snowballed for me let me check this show out, let me look into this one, I have an interest in that. So it's just been on and on and on and on, and pretty much that's how I got started.
Was this on the smartphone?
This was all on my Apple phone, yeah. No, just download the shows daily, or even use Stitcher. I use the Stitcher app a lot, and it keeps track of all the podcasts that I listen to. Keeps track of my history. As you've seen before, when I sent you that clip, I had over 8,000 episodes in of just different random shows that I've listened to over the years. Yeah, I was scrolling around YouTube one day, and it came up on one of these podcasts you may like.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, because I listened to this one podcast. It's by Casey Neistat. It's called Couples Therapy.
Okay.
And it deals with a couple. So I'm assuming that since I was listening to that one, it brought me onto your site. So I started listening to you. And then the first one I listened to was, I think his name was David. He was going through that messy cheating divorce scandal.
Oh, what's his name? Joseph.
There. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Joseph. Yeah. So I caught that one, and then I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good show. So I just started going. I started from the beginning and then just worked all the way up.
Man, dude. But I'm thinking, how did people do podcasting back then? Because what's that guy you listened to? The first guy? What's his name?
Well, the first one I listened to was Adam Carolla.
And he was the only podcaster around?
He was they considered him the biggest name in podcasting at the time. He's the one that holds the Guinness record for most downloads of a show ever. I'm sure that's been broken by now, but
by that guy Joe Rogan.
And Joe Rogan, yeah, Joe Rogan's another great podcast.
Dude, everybody I talk to listens to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody, almost, I'm gonna say, if I had to say a number, 99% of the time, somebody says they listen to podcasts, and I'm like, okay, let me guess, Joe Rogan. Yeah, how did you know? I'm like, dude, I don't know why everybody listens to him. This is like
Yeah.
free advertising for him right now, but it's all right.
He doesn't need it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't need it.
Everybody listens to Joe Rogan that I know of. I mean, I'll listen to Joe Rogan if it's somebody good that I'm interested in or a topic that he has going on. But mostly the podcasts that I do listen to are mostly like stuff that I'm interested in. There is a water podcast that I listen to called Water Wise Podcast.
What's that about?
That's about guys in the water industry,
Really? Damn.
municipalities, things like that. I'll listen to a ton of different Disney podcasts that you would listen to. There would be hours of Disney podcasts you could listen to. They're they have a big platform on there, so it's pretty cool. And then just different like movie review podcasts. Junk Food Cinema is a good one. Not to go weird, but I listen to a lot of conspiracy podcasts.
Oh, dude, I'm the same way. I listen to this Dark Webs one. Talks about like aliens and what else does it talk about? Just weird government stuff, dude.
Yeah, just weird off the wall stuff that you would never even think of. There's a good show called Coast to Coast. It comes on late night from like 10 to 2 in the morning, but they replay they have their own podcast. So if you don't listen to it live, you could always go back in the archives and listen to it. So that's a good one. I'll listen to that one like first thing in the morning when I'm on my way to work or on my way to the gym. So something calm and mellow. It just starts the brain thinking, you would think.
Yeah. It you know what I like about podcasting? It's you learn a lot of new things. Like you don't have to read a book, because I just bought this one book and I got an audio version of it. And that pretty much all that is said, I can listen. I'm like, man, I paid for nothing. I'm like,
yeah.
I could have got all this on a podcast, but it's a book, whatever.
Oh yeah, there's tons of good information you could listen to just all day long about whatever topic or subject that you're interested in.
And dude, guess what? So that same book I bought, there's a podcast that has just pure audiobooks and it's free, and someone's reading the book.
Oh yeah.
So I could have got it for free, and I bought it, and I was like, man, what the heck? People are just reading these books out on podcasts. Is that even legal? I think someone's gonna get into.
Well,
I don't know.
Somebody paid for the book the first time, so I would assume that them reading it to you wouldn't be copyrighted or anything.
I think it sounds like stealing to me, man. It's like, damn, it's like $17 for that book. And I'm like, oh shoot, someone's gonna get.
That's on them. But, yeah.
So how long's your trip to your job?
Well, my job's located right up the street in Paris from where I'm at, so it's usually 20-minute commute, 25-minute commute, and then I'll be there at least an hour before I'll hit the gym there at work. So I'm listening to something in my ear for a good, hour and a half before I have to start work. And then once I do start work, I do listen to my handful of shows throughout the day, because I'm pretty much working by myself, 90% of the time. That's what kind of gave me the freedom of listening to a ton of podcasts throughout many years. Because when we first talked, we were talking about in my business in retail sales, and I was pretty much by myself, 100% of the time. Nobody's here to bug me. So I'd be going to these grocery stores with kind of like an earbud in my ear, and then just listening to shows, doing my orders. And then the only time I had to pause my show was to go talk to a store manager real quick about some display I'm trying to get or something I'm trying to take over.
I was talking about you to this manager at a store one time. They're like, hey, I know this guy who works at Coke. I'm like, hey, do they come at you guys begging for display? He's like, yeah, man. It's like, it depends on service. If they give me a merchandiser. And he was telling me a story about how he kicks a salesman out or something. He had to get another one. But that's going off topic right there. But
oh no, I'll go for it. I could tell you some good stories, Coca-Cola stories.
Yeah, man. He was telling me the story how Stater Brothers kicked out all the Coke line out of the store because the merchandiser never showed up. Yeah. And to show them a lesson, he told the manager, I want all your Coke products out of my store by give him a time. There was merchandise, like 3 trucks lined up outside, and they were like, damn, everything. Then he got a call 2 hours later. He said they finished around midnight.
Oh, wow.
They got a call an hour, 2 hours later. Hey, I want all that product back in around 8 a.m. It's like why'd you do that? Like, it was to show you guys a lesson. I'm not messing around here, you know.
Oh yeah, they do that. And you'd think as big as Coke is, they don't like balk or anything like that, but they hold their ground. I mean, if you don't want them to do anything, they pretty much know what they can get away with or not. Like, take for instance, remember a few years back, all Costco's around the country pulled Coca-Cola products because Coca-Cola wasn't going to give Costco the deal on pricing.
No way.
So it was only strictly Pepsi in there and 7-Up products. That was one example. When I was in LA working for Coke, there was this Walmart that was in Crenshaw somewhere that the store manager called us and says, hey, I'm taking out every Pepsi, 7-Up cooler, Naked Juice cooler, whatever. I want all Coca-Cola in the store. And sure enough, boom, they did that on the spot. I mean, these store managers, you would think that they wouldn't have so much pull, but then you get their district managers behind them and they'll do whatever they want to do into those stores.
To me, it doesn't sound like a good deal because people go into the store to buy soda, right? They buy soda, but they come out with chips, dip, and just other stuff. They don't just like, hey, I'm going to the store and get some Coke. You don't just come out with a Coca-Cola. You come out with chips and other stuff, chocolate.
Exactly. That's why those machines at the register, those Coca-Cola fridges and Pepsi fridges are so valuable, just because it's the last minute. It's called an impulse buy. And the way that I was always told was you need to have those coolers fully stocked at all times, because that's where we make the most money from sales, in that impulse cooler. Get this, a 12 pack, a case, 2 12 packs that we consider that one case. Coca-Cola is only making 11-cent profit on that one case. You sell one bottle of a 20 ounce, you're making 24 cents profit from that one bottle. So the plastic selling those 20 ounces is so much greater and such a high margin for Coca-Cola to push those products than anything else in the store.
I know what I'm noticing is the 2 liters, they'll be 90 something cents on the shelf. Then the cooler, you're looking at these little bottles for like $2, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's where you make their money from.
And I'm like, this doesn't seem fair, but I'm already here on the line. I don't want to get out. I'm just grab it really quick. Which is, you're right. It is an impulse. It's an impulse buy. It's
already cold, ready to drink. I mean, you can't take that 2 liter home and drink it right there on the spot, or
to work.
You're gonna drink that 20 ounce. That's gonna fit in your cooler. It's already cold, ready to go.
Man, dude. I feel like Coke has a lot of power. Shut down the store, but stores are not afraid to go up to Coca-Cola. Like, they'll pull their stuff out of the shelves.
They have a lot of power because they think that they're the only game in town, which it's true. They pretty much are. I mean, PepsiCo, they have the snack market down because they own Frito-Lay, they own Grandma's Cookies, Mother's Cookies. They own a lot of things. But Coca-Cola, they own Coca-Cola products. They own Smart Water, Vitamin Water. They're now partners with Monster Energy, Full Throttle, Fuse.
Dude, Coke.
Nas.
The Coke knows how to throw money away, man. I seen them buy products out for millions of dollars, discontinue it in 6 months, dude. I'm like, what the heck? You just paid this guy that invented the little product, and you paid him millions of dollars to take it off his hands, and then you discontinue it 6 months later.
Oh yeah, that's like how Fuse was, and then even the shares of like Vitamin Water are going down. When they first bought Vitamin Water over, when they bought the deal from Herlambos over, we were told to make sure Vitamin Water and Smart Water is in the stores everywhere. Every aisle, they wanted to see some type of displays. And right now, you walk a store, I mean, it's still present, but not as big and not much of a push you would see now. Like, the big thing they're pushing now is Smart Water and a lot of seltzer water, because seltzer water is like the new hot thing right now, because LaCroix came in there and like dominated the seltzer water business now.
What is
So
it?
they're
Salsa water?
seltzer water, like sparkling water,
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
a tonic water or like a club soda type seltzer water.
Uh-huh.
So they just been dominating right now. And I think it's owned by some private label, but I want to say like Hanson's maybe has like a small percentage in it, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've seen them deliver like maybe 3 or 4 truckloads of product to a store just because they're going to have some big shot from Atlanta come down and tour that store in Marina Del Rey. Or maybe he's not even going to tour that store. His hotel happens to be in Marina Del Rey, but they need to make sure that store is ready for him just
all
in
the stores
case.
around him, huh?
Yeah, just in case he wants to walk in that store and check out, Coke's products in there and whatever. But store managers are taken care of too. I personally handed store managers trips to Mammoth for the weekend, UFC fights at Staples Center, tons of basketball tickets for the Lakers. Pretty much Coke dominates Dodger Stadium. They can get anything they want there.
Six
On and
Flags.
on. Oh,
Sure.
I would get like stacks of sheets of Six Flag tickets that had 4 to a sheet, and I was just supposed to pass them out just to people that are taking care of us with giving us no problems with receiving load through the back door, managers that are hooking it up on displays, tons of stuff.
Oh, that's cheating, man. I remember I used to be a salesman for a beer company, and damn, they didn't give us nothing, dude. Like tickets. It was like straight. You had to be a salesman, like to go there and do your job, man. And find those tickets, dude. Display everywhere. Display next to the restroom. In the restroom.
Yeah. And then on Wednesdays, they needed to know what displays are in your store and how much of it to kind of see where you're at. And oh my God, we used to have these 5 a.m. sales meetings every morning. 5 a.m. You have to be in the sales meeting. They're playing Eye of the Tiger Rocky theme music in the background to get you, motivate you. Dude, it was crazy. Fire. I mean, it was fun though, but I don't see myself. I couldn't do it anymore. I mean, just from how it was like push, and even when they got the world, they still wanted more, pretty much.
I noticed that. I noticed a lot of new salesmen. Pepsi, it's always a new guy I'm seeing, and I'm like, I feel like they burn through you and get another body. They try to suck as much as it can out of you, or get another body, another motivated body.
Yeah, it's a revolving door. I mean, I was a sales rep for Coca-Cola for, I want to say 4 years. And then prior to that, I was with Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream sales rep for them for 3 years. And then I'm like, dude, I need something like more stable. I mean, most of the time you're depending on your commission and your bonuses. And if nobody's buying anything, then, paychecks are going to be a little bit weak once that time comes around. So that's how I got into this business. Yeah.
Winter time, everybody, beer business. So I don't know. What do you think about the soda business? They hurt in the winter?
Normally they do, but you got to keep in mind you have those major holidays coming up. Thanksgiving holiday, you have Christmas, New Year's Eve. So there's always something that they're pushing at those times. And then you look through your local ad, there's always going to be hot deals pricing. Like right now, 4th of July weekend, you got hot deals at your local stores for sure. Mm-hmm. But they're not the $199 12 packs like they used to be. They're like buy 5 for $246 or something like that.
Right now. I don't want to say where I work at, but I'm going to these stores and I'm seeing, dude, right now since the holiday 4th of July, it's like a Super Bowl for them. But I'm seeing 24 pallets of 12 packs, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm talking to the receiver. I'm like, are you guys gonna blow through this? Like, who buys this stuff, dude? It's like, oh, it's gonna sell. I'm like, I doubt it. I don't know.
I mean, sometimes it's like a hit and miss. I mean, they want the product because store managers are afraid of running out, but they want you to pick it up the next Monday comes around once they have all that left over. And you have to tell you, dude, I can't pick this up. I'm going to get in trouble for picking this up because you're only allowed to pick up so much back. I mean, the beer business is totally different from the soda business. Beer business, you can't pick up anything, right? Because under the ABC law, from what I was told.
Yeah, like once it's there, it's there, dude. You're responsible for it.
Soda business, I mean, they could just take it back because they'll say, or they're going to refuse your next load. I mean, and that's the hard part too of being a sales rep because you deal with I dealt with my stores for those years I was working at Coca-Cola, I would see those people multiple times per week, so you kind of try to build a relationship with these people. So you don't want to like kind of screw them over too bad where you're going to have all this product in there. They're going to get mad. Their district manager is going to come in and see a back room full of Coca-Cola and be like, what?
I know. I remember they'll give me a big display, like a Super Bowl display, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, hey, is your merchandise going to be here at 6 a.m.? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm like, me being the dumbass that I am, like, because I wanted the display. Yeah, he'll be here, Dude, the merchandiser won't show up till like 1 p.m., dude.
Yeah.
I would sometimes have to go to the store myself. Mm-hmm. The receiver will call me. I was sleeping, dude, at home. And he's blowing up my phone. I'm like, fuck, what's going on? I'm like, hey, where's the merchandiser at? I'm like, calling. And that boss will be like, oh, he's not getting it till 1, dude. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Yeah.
So there I am, freaking rushing to the store, dude. Half asleep, man.
Yeah, but, I've had a lot of those broken promises where I'm like, yeah, no problem. The truck's going to be here at 6 o'clock. I called delivery. They got it out first thing on the rack to go out 6 o'clock. Merchandiser, he's going to be his first stop here. And sure enough, it's the
liar, bro. Stop. You don't even know what the schedule. I remember, I didn't even know the schedule, the driver, the merchandiser, nothing, man. Mm-hmm. If you had to get a merchandiser, it has to be requested. You got to fill out a paper and send it in why you need him there at that time.
Oh, wow.
But you would fill it out and you still wouldn't show up. So I'm like,
oh, no. Yeah. I mean, there would be times, I kid you not, I'd be at home like Memorial Day weekend and a store manager's calling me somewhere in like Crescenta Valley somewhere saying, hey, we're going to be out of product soon. Can we get a truck over here? I'm like,
what the heck, dude? Who are you, Harry Potter or what? Swing your magic wand around?
And then I would be, because I had a company vehicle, so we were we could transport product around too. So I'd go like a dummy, go to another store, pick some up, fill out all the paperwork, say I'm transferring it to this store. Maybe 1 or 2 fell off the back of the truck into my, home later on. And I would do that constantly, like over the weekend. So it was like a full-time job, even like when you're off, like full-time.
Dude, that's the thing, man. I'm pretty sure you didn't like that, everybody.
Huh? No, because you're trying to please like the store manager and the people that are there because you got to see them come, like I said, come that Monday when you're walking in there after the holiday weekend. You're going to like, what did I do? Or are they going to be nice to me? Or did I screw them over that bad where they're not going to take my next load or anything like that? It's crazy, though.
Dude, it's nerve-breaking, man. I remember getting screamed at in front of people, dude. It's like, come on, dude, don't do this in front of customers, bro.
Oh, yeah, at least take it to the back room or something like that, or in the office, something. I've gotten thrown out of 3 stores before, and everybody's saying, hey, how'd you get thrown out? You're like the nicest guy I know.
The retail business, it's really hard, man. I started this new job and I'm talking to these managers at these grocery stores, and it's like a whole different side of them I never seen because I'm so used to trying to sell stuff to them. Now I'm just delivering stuff like, that's it, just deliver it, here you go. That's it. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's weird. I'm like, man, I used to hate you guys. Like, you guys will give me headaches all the time. But now I'm here having a normal conversation with you. I was like, it's weird. It's like,
yeah.
Like, oh man, the tables have turned now.
Do they ask you to like do a little bit like extra for them, like move things here or
no, I can refuse if I want. The thing is, I'm part of a union, so I know all the rules, and I'm not supposed to. If I say no, then it's a no. They can call my boss and they can handle it with him. But most likely it's what I say because I don't want to get in trouble for it. But damn, that's a lot of people don't see that side, like what it takes to get that display out in the front, to get that display right. And as soon as you walk into the door, to get that first display as the first one you see, it's like you're fighting for it, dude. You got to fight against Pepsi. You got to fight against the beer guys, the chip guys, and then nobody sees all that, dude. All they see, soda, beer.
No problem. I mean, yeah, and what the hardest thing too is sometimes that people don't realize that what you have against you is pricing. I mean, obviously at that level, we don't control pricing. The key accounts, they control the pricing. But if you're not getting a good pricing, you're more likely not to get that display unless you have like a solid relationship with the store where they know that you can eventually get that pricing and have on sale. But
Well, yeah, from my experience, the guy is like, if it's not on sale, I don't want it on my floor.
yeah, because they would get pushback from their district managers about that. If it's not on sale, if it's not on a club card, then we don't want your product on the floor right now.
Yeah, man. Damn, it's a war out there, man. I remember me and the Budweiser guy just always going at it. He's taking facings off of my shelves. As you know, I'm taking time off my own time to put those stickers up, dude. And he was like, "Oh, it's just stickers, dude." I'm like, "Dude, it's not just stickers. Like, it's pricing, bro. People see this."
Oh yeah, yeah, and they, putting coupons on products, the whole nine. I mean, I would get like stacks and stacks of coupons, and they would say, hey, I want this on, and you don't have time to go through every one. I mean, they wouldn't even let us leave it with the merchandisers because to them, the coupons are money, and sometimes you could play around with them a little bit. In my days, I would go down to like the Asian markets, like the little mom and pop markets, and they would love coupons because all they would do is just turn them in a stack of like 100 coupons that have a price for $1 off. They would turn those in and get basically $100, no problem.
Just a stack of coupons without the product?
Yeah, because all you do is mail them in and to this one address that's on there, and then they would get a check back from the coupon company that whatever the face value is for those coupons, because they're assuming that they use the coupons in your store.
Wait, so how long you say you were in the retail business?
Total from, let's see, I worked with dryers for 3 years, maybe 4 years, Coke for another 4, and then I worked, believe it or not, I worked for PepsiCo after Coca-Cola, but I worked for their, do you know their Mexican cookie line? It's called Gamesa.
Gamesa. For PepsiCo?
Yeah, PepsiCo. They own cookies. This cookie company called Gamesa. They were like, they do the Hispanic cookies, like the Arcoides, Patas de Coco.
I haven't seen them, dude.
They're in select markets for sure. But I mean, you can get them at like the little, obviously little Mexican markets, things like that. And then like Ralph's has them, things like that. The Maria's cookies. Well, I worked for them for another 2.5 years, and then I was done. I went to get something else.
Hey, do you think Coke and Pepsi products are going to be slowing down later in the future? Because it seems like everybody's stepping away from the sugar.
They are. They're going more towards like the big push when I was there at Coca-Cola was they just launched Coke Zero, and they saw that Coke Zero was going to be like the new best thing for soft drinks. But Coca-Cola, they also invested a lot into teas, water. Vitamin water is a big push. So they have that market down pretty well. I mean, if you walk down the aisles of your local store, you'll see like the tea market is dominated by Pepsi.
Pepsi, damn, they own Frito-Lay. So Frito-Lay is what, like 75% of the shelf of all the chips?
Oh, for sure. At least 75%, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't understand like the products that are owned by companies. I think nobody even cares about it. Like they don't know if it's a Pepsi product or this is a Coke product. They just buy and buy
it. You want to hear something very crazy?
What?
When I was at Coca-Cola in LA, we were talking to I was talking to this sales rep out of the Orange office. So he's down in Orange County. So Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
So you know how Coca-Cola is the dominant person in Disneyland, their product?
So every product, it's kind of like Six Flags, right? Everything at Six Flags is owned by Coke. The vending machines, Monster Energy, all that stuff. So Disneyland's the same way or what?
Disneyland's the same way. So their deal is that at Disneyland and all Disney resorts, theme parks, hotels, cruise ships, they get free Coca-Cola. The only thing is they have to pay for the CRV and the tax, but they get all their product for free as long as they don't let any other competitor in the market there.
No, wait, hold on. So you're saying Disneyland can order 5 trucks of product, and it's all free as long as they pay CRV.
They have to pay the CRV and the tax on all the 20-ounce bottles that you're paying, I don't know, $6 for. They only pay tax and CRV, and they get that product for free, basically.
What the heck? What's the marketing behind this? Is just trying to get awareness?
To never let any other competitors inside Disney, basically.
Shoot, dude, I want to see another company try to come in and beat that.
Well, you would think, a box of syrup, when you make a fountain drink, it's only a few cents that, you're charging a customer or product wise, but, their markup on that is huge.
Am I exaggerating when I say it's 1,000% markup?
Oh, probably not. No, I'm guessing you're probably spot on.
Really? Sure. Okay. Because I was talking to this guy, and this restaurant owner, he orders a bunch of Coke, and he was telling me that this is the most profitable item he has in his restaurant. Yeah. I'm like, this? And he's like, yeah, dude. I'm like, how the heck is this liquid making you profit? And
my uncles and my dad, they both own they all own at restaurants on my dad's side of the family, and what they sell their drinks for is crazy from what the actual cost of the syrup is. It's because you buy a 50-gallon box of syrup that makes hundreds and hundreds of drinks, fountain drinks, and that costs what, $56 if that. And you're going to charge a customer buying a 20-ounce $2.99 or $1.99, so you're going to make that up quick. I mean, within, you're just adding carbon dioxide and water and then the syrup to make it, and you're good to go.
Dude, so that's crazy, man. And it's like kind of require, like, you need a drink with your meal.
Yeah. I mean, I get on my wife all the time. I'm like, why are you buying a soda? It's like $4 here at this restaurant. Just get a water real quick. But, she never listens to me anyways. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, who pays like $4 for a drink? And obviously you're going to refill it maybe 1 or 2 times though, but still, they're still profiting no matter what.
What is one thing people don't know about Coke? I heard the Coke facilities, they get inspected once every 3 months, because Coke is so bad for you, they say. Man, we're bashing Coke right now, huh? Damn.
Well, they can take it.
Okay. Well, they say it's so bad that it's literally like a cleaning product. You drop it on the floor and they'll freaking sweep and they'll clean it, dude. And
yeah, I've heard stories of the highway patrol having 2 liters in the back of their trunk to clean up blood off the highway in an accident or something like that. Or I've seen videos of people using it as toilet bowl cleaner.
Dude, that's crazy.
I mean, it's just very acidic, basically, the syrup and the soda. I toured a couple times of where they actually make it, and they have these people there. They're like quality control people, and all they do is take lab samples, and they're required to drink it like every 30 minutes. They're supposed to take a sample off the line and drink it and make sure that it's the same quality. And I've seen like the big 55-gallon drums of pure syrup that is like the secret recipe that they send from Atlanta down to all their bottlers across the country, and nobody knows what's in that thing. But
what do you think it is, dude? It's hard to say, huh?
It's hard to say. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, you could probably get a little bit from just reading the back of the Coca-Cola, but it still says like natural flavors or natural ingredients, and that could be a ton of things that they could put in there. But yeah, it's one of those 7 wonders of the world of what's in the Coca-Cola secret recipe.
You know how energy drinks say natural flavors in the back?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, there's nothing natural about this thing. This thing was made in a lab, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was reading this article, this podcast episode, how Heinz ketchup, how it was made different in the U.S. than in, what part of the country was it? In Europe.
Yeah.
In Europe, it's like, it's 8 simple ingredients in Europe. Yeah. In the U.S., dude, it's like freaking 20 different things added in there, and it's just it's cheap to make it.
It's probably cheaper to make it, and obviously a lot of it's probably not 57 varieties of tomatoes in there. Probably something else.
Lies, no. I'm like, dude, we're freaking lab rats right now, man. We're being tested by Coca-Cola, these big corporate companies.
Oh yeah, they want you to get hooked on their product and be a drinker for life. Why do you think they have Coke? They used to give you Happy Meals with Coca-Cola. They want your kids to grow up loving Coca-Cola, and then eventually they're going to be buyers for life.
Kind of like that that Coca-Cola commercial on the during the winter with the polar bear.
Oh yeah,
They had the same one every single year, bro.
Yeah,
and the same thing for Corona. It's the
the bottles on the beach.
Bottles on the beach, the palm tree, and they just light up lit the palm tree up like a Christmas tree.
It's that it gives you that nostalgia feel where you have to have it afterwards or something like that.
Yeah, dude. Damn. How did you handle stress though with retail? I know you had breaking points. You ever had breaking points there during retail?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I would just stomp out of there all pissed off at the world and not wanting to talk to anybody, and then I get 50 phone calls afterwards of hey, what did you do in the store? Manager, how come the manager's calling me? I had a long commute home, so it would kind of die off once I did get home, because I worked in downtown LA, and then I was living out in the Inland Empire at the time. So I had that long 2-hour drive home most days.
Wow, you drove all the way over there? Don't they have right there a Coke plant in Inland Empire?
Yeah, right there in Rancho Cucamonga. I was trying to get in there for a long, long time. It's pretty much if nobody dies or gets fired, then you're not going to get in there.
No way.
Yeah,
I know they have one in Inland Empire. They got one in Victorville.
Yeah, that's a new one in Victorville. And then I think when I was last heard, I know Pepsi, or not Pepsi, Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, they made a huge one out there in Victorville.
How did you handle stress though?
I don't know.
Podcasting. That's one thing that helps me, dude. On podcasts, I phase out during work. Mm-hmm. I go into these stores. I probably don't even say a word to these customers sometimes, which is not a good thing. And I'm like,
all day, and then my coworkers are always making fun of me for, Phil, what you hear in your podcast today? Things like that, or hey, how come you have that in your ear walking around? Because I have a wireless earbud that I just walk around, no problem, So I get a lot of razzing for that, but I'm the same. I just all day long, don't talk to anybody. Just
do you think podcasting is gonna take over radio?
Well, definitely. I think regular radio is pretty much dead. I think the big push now is podcasting, satellite radio. There's a good number of shows that are on satellite radio that you can say pretty much whatever you want to say on satellite radio. It's not regulated yet. I don't know if it'll ever be regulated yet, but I think that's the push. I just got tired with regular radio. They play the same songs over and over again, and there's really nothing that interests me other than, just talk radio just on the regular radio. But as far as music wise, nah, I don't. I think it's dead.
Yeah, it's just the music they're playing now. The beat of the song is what catches you. But if you listen closely to the lyrics, it's what the heck are they saying, dude?
I think it's just gibberish, just to
slash my arm, kill myself with a good beat at the end. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's gone. The writing was on the wall once Howard Stern decided to leave regular radio and go to Sirius. That was huge right there. It was a gamble though, but it was huge. Wow.
They say in China, you have to pay for podcasting.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And, over there in China, it's more self-development podcast. That's how to develop yourself, be better. That's that's what their main concentration over there. And you have to pay to listen to those.
Oh, wow.
And companies you say you listen to, you got through Stitcher, right? You have Stitcher?
Yeah, Stitcher is one of my apps that I go through a lot.
Yeah, so these little companies are coming up right now, hiring these artists, and they say, hey, can you only play that podcast on my station? And people will pay. Well, in order to listen to you, they will have to pay, They're trying to push. I don't know. I can't see it, man. They're trying to push that way, but I don't know, man. It's just, I can't see it happening.
I think it's too big to regulate it. You have a lot of these, startup podcasts that are growing, and I don't think that they can control it yet. So I don't know if that'll ever come down.
Nah, man. There's too many podcasts right now. Last time they were comparing what's better to do, a YouTube channel or a podcast. There's 500 million YouTube channels right now. 100-something thousand podcasts. So it's high up there. And it said you're better making you will make it if you start a podcast. You'll start making money, you know.
You know, I'm not too sure as far as maybe like the money side of it. I mean, through like maybe, you know, the only one I really do like hear a lot of podcasters push is Amazon, where they get a small percentage back when you buy something through Amazon and you use their podcasting link.
Oh, an affiliate program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, YouTube, I mean, there's obviously money to be made on YouTube, but you have to have the right audience, I think, and you have to have good content like every single time. And I think with podcasting, I think your fan base is more engaging with you, and they're going to devote their time probably longer. And with YouTube, you have to constantly, I think, watch it, and you have to like sit there with your phone, look down at it, or your iPad or your television, and watch it. With podcasting, you just put it, you know, your earbuds in your ear, and you can do your normal thing and still listen to something great. So I'm assuming that, you know, maybe over the long run, you could eventually make some money off podcasting. I know a lot of big podcasters, they use it as, like Joe Rogan, I'm sure he uses his podcast to push products, but he's also endorsing himself because he's always giving that, you know, that, by the way, come see me in Vegas the 25th through the 26th. I'll be at this show. Or they're kind of like pushing themselves or plugging themselves also. So I think it's like another platform for like the big guys to kind of put their name more out there. Yeah.
Kind of like how they say, if you have to have an Instagram nowadays, no matter what kind of business you run. You're fucking clean street sweeper, you gotta have a freaking Instagram. You do yard sales or whatever job, whatever business you have, restaurant business, truck driving business, like you gotta have an Instagram now, dude. That's where it's at.
You have to have that, and you have to have that blue check. If you have that blue check, that means you're the best of the best and you're certified.
What the heck was the blue check?
Where you get verified on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter.
Dude, that's big, man. Like, as soon as you see that blue check, you just click on it right away. Like, who's this guy?
Yeah, that's how you know when you made it. You're somebody once you get that blue check.
Wow. Man, dude. Hey, is there anything you want to say, or?
No. You know what? I think we covered a lot tonight. I'm not sure if I have anything left to say.
No? Hey, where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Andy Fig 2. Andy Fig 2? That's what it is, Andy on Instagram? Oh, okay. Man, Andy, hey, thank you for coming up on the podcast, dude. Thanks for even reaching out to me. Man, I was all happy when you hit me up. I was like, wow. Someone hit me up. This is crazy, but hey, Andy, thank you, man.